All right. Welcome back, everyone. We're back in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Oh, hold on. Oh, that was bad timing. But that was one of those calls I had to take. But anyway, yes, where were we? We are back in Microsoft Flight Simulator. We are at St. Paul Island in the middle of Bumblefuck Bering Sea. Tonight we are heading back to mainland North America for the first time in like 40 flights. Our destination tonight is Anchorage. Let's take a quick preview at the flight plan. I'm going to pull up Volanta. I've been using this tool like whoa lately. There's our flight plan tonight, and tower is online at Anchorage, so we may get ATC coverage for like the last 30 seconds of our flight. And the other thing, they've been online for 10 hours. 10 hours. So I want to actually check. One, I hope he's okay. That's an insane shift. But I do want to check. Usually when ATC is online for that long, they're usually streaming it. So I want to see if we can figure out, just in case they're online. If I look for Anchorage, will anything come up? Let's see. Nope, don't see anyone. What's the name of this? Usually we could see the name of the controller. Let's see. Let's search for that. No, so he's just been chilling on tower for 10 hours and not even streaming it. Good for him. Good for him. All right, well, we will see if he's still online by the time we get there. It will be about the 12-hour mark for him by the time we arrive, which is really intense. But that is the plan. So we're heading to Anchorage tonight, getting some ATC coverage, and yeah. Let's get the show on the road. Let me hop back into the sim. As you can see, St. Paul is still real messy. We landed here last night. We took visibility right to minimums on the ILS, buttered the landing, which was great. Super short runway, so no margin for error. It was pretty exciting, and I'll make a clip of that final approach because I think it was definitely worth saving for posterity. Taking off into the soup is not nearly as exciting, but will still be fun. We'll be using the new EasyJet Sim Pilot's performance calculator to see if we could actually do a flex takeoff on this runway. My guess is we're going to have to do toga, and we may have to do flaps 2, possibly even flaps 3, depending. So, without further ado, let's hop inside and get our pre-flight going. This is a very low service airport, so we are going to assume that we don't have external power tonight, so we'll go right to the APU. Let's turn our batteries on. That changes the flow just a little bit. We'll want to do our APU fire test first. And just test the lights because there's no power to the ECAM. And we'll go ahead and turn on the APU master switch. 1, 2, and 3. And we will wait for that to spool up. And there's really nothing else to do until that happens. We can prep our electronic flight bag. We could do that. Yeah, no changes. Just actually, let me my favorite trick now in Twitch. I'm going to throw up the METAR for where we are. Let's take a look. Why did that not work? Oh no! What the banana? Try it one more time. Whoop! Well, there's the APU. That scared the shit out of me. Sorry, that scared you too? Oh, there we go. Now it's working. Alright. Yeah, so as of 53 Zulu, winds out of 130 at 10 knots, 1.5 statute mile 1.5 statute mile visibility, so a bit better than yesterday. BR. What does BR stand for? So this METAR has improved. When I checked it half an hour ago, it was still foggy. So BR is light fog or mist. Overcast 300. The ceilings are still really low. Temperature is still pretty close to freezing. But yeah. So slightly better conditions than yesterday, but not by much. Not by much. All right, so we have our APU running. We'll do a proper APU test this time. Engines. Doing it a bit out of order, but it's top of mind. Just getting that done. Nav and logos, get our no smoking and emergency exit lights. We'll turn on the integrated lighting here. And make sure everything else is good. Landing elevators auto, all that good stuff. All these switches are where they should be. We'll keep the pumps and seatbelt sign off for fueling reasons. Cruise supplies on, ground controls on. IRSs can start aligning. Alright, that's good for the overhead. Coming down to our screens, let's increase the brightness just a touch. While those IRSs align, get constraints going. Turn off the other displays. Yeah, tower is online at the destination, and they've been online for over 10 hours. So we'll see if they're still online by the time we get there. They'll literally only cover us for like the last 5 miles, but it'll still be nice to talk to another human being on the radios for once. Alright, landing gear is down, lever is down, indicating down, anti-skid is on, brake pressure looks good. Get the ECAM displays brightened up a bit. IRSs will be aligned in 7 minutes. APU is available. Let's get the APU bleed on, and we'll load passengers in a sec. Thrust levers are functional and in the idle position. We're on Unicom for now. Oh, we don't want the floods. Nope. Weather system and predictive wind shear system is off. Engine masters are off. Engine mode is normal. Let's go ahead and squawk 1200 there. And ATC and TCAS are both on standby. Spoilers are disarmed and retracted. Flaps are up. Rudder trim is neutralized. Parking brake is on. Cockpit doors open. All good there. Alright. Heading to the electronic flight bag. Let's import our flight plan. Bunch of direct waypoints here. The routing from St. Paul to Anchorage was really weird. This is actually a real world route, but the first real world route that SimBrief wanted me to use was just SPY and then direct to Anchorage, which is kind of insane. SPY is the waypoint. I think it's the VOR directly above the St. Paul airport. It's the St. Paul VOR. So like you hit the waypoint right off takeoff and then direct to Anchorage. I'm like, that's boring and weird. I wanted to file a flight plan with a few more waypoints, so this is what we got. We are on runway 18, and with winds out of 140, that makes sense. So that's all good. And yeah, let's hop to the OFP and brief this. We are Alaska 9084 tonight. We're heading from St. Paul to Anchorage. Staying in the same time zone, but getting closer to sunset. Alternate is Papa Alpha Echo November, which is not too far from Anchorage. Cost index is 10, flight level 390, triple pause is a bit higher tonight. Trip wind, tailwind of 5 knots, which will reduce our flight time. We're expecting about 1 hour and 43 in the air and a block time of 2 hours and 10 minutes. Moderate shear rate, so no heavy turbulence expected. And looking at fuel, so bulk of the fuel is for the trip. The alternate is pretty close by, so that looks pretty good. And final reserve, contingency all looks great. Weather in Anchorage also looks pretty good. We could preview that here. So light winds, good visibility, high ceilings, it's warmer. So that all looks fine. All right, so 5447 is the fuel we'll take. Import that in, and a quick refuel, because it is not much more than we already have in the tanks. I clicked it. Is it going? There we go. All right, let's look at the rest of this very short flight plan. That's really, really simple and straightforward. We'll probably clear straight to 390. Looking at the weather here. I'm looking at any forecasts. So departure. Oh, there's a departure alternate. Interesting. Interesting. Destination airport. Oh, maybe that's for ETOPS because we're flying over the ocean. Destination. So the forecast, variable winds. Yeah, all looks pretty fine. Sky clear. Okay, let's prep some charts. So taxi charts, this will be real easy. So there we are on the apron, and we're taking off runway 18. So we'll back taxi all the way back, spin around, and take off. Simple. There are no SIDS, so don't need to worry about that. And that's basically our departure. We just take off and go direct to our first waypoint. Anything we need to be aware of here for takeoff? Adequate visual reference, quarter mile. So we have at least that, thank God, with a half mile or 1.5 mile visibility. Runway climb heading 180 to 800 before proceeding on course. That's good to know. So we'll climb runway heading before going over to autopilot. So actually, let's prep that. So on the heading bug, we'll prep that to 180. Oh, this is going to be annoying. Turn in the knob. Turn the, oh, it's sped up. That's good. Okay. Runway heading. That's set. And we'll set our altitude. We'll just go straight to 39,000. No reason not to. But we'll hand fly it once we're well away from the airport. Okay, before I forget, before we continue our brief, I'm going to get boarding started and done. So heading to weights and balances, we're going to pull in our payload data from SimBrief. We have 102 passengers tonight, so quite less than yesterday. And we'll start that boarding. All right, back to our chart and brief. I think we are done here. We've pinned the chart we want. And that's now available here on our homepage for quick reference. And I think, yeah, I think that's it. All right, next up, let's start programming. Oh man, we got through that really quickly. There's not a lot to brief on the departure. It just happens quick. We still have 5 minutes, or 3 minutes, sorry, until our IRSs are aligned. So I guess we can start programming the box, but we'll want kind of everyone on board before we kind of go through the rest of the flow. But let's just get as far as we can. So IRSs are still aligning, so we'll have to check that again when they are aligned. But we can check that we have the correct engines loaded and the active AirX cycle is current, and it is. Next, let's go to Init A, and we'll do this manually tonight just for practice and because we have the time. So we are at Papa Alpha Sierra November. We are heading to Papa Alpha November Charlie. Throw that in there. There we go. Our alternate is Papa Alpha, what was it? Echo something? Papa Alpha Echo November. Papa Alpha Echo November. That's our alternate. We are Alaska 9084. Cost index tonight is 10. And we know our cruise flight level is 390. Triple pause. Let's get the one from the flight plan here. 33844. 33844. boarding is completed. Very nice. And init A is complete. Going to our flight plan. So right now we just have the departure and destination. Let's get those waypoints in. So we're going direct to SPY, Sierra Papa Yankee. And then from there to Echo Hotel Mike. Oh, interesting.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the
I think that's the right one. It's the VOR.
Myself, your captain, the first officer, and cabin crew, I'd like to take this time to welcome you aboard our flight. We're just wrapping up some paperwork up front here and waiting to see final numbers from the ground crew, then we'll be on our way. Flight attendants will be coming through the cabin shortly with a very important safety briefing. We do ask that you give them your full, undivided attention as they review the safety operations of this Airbus aircraft. We do appreciate your business having you aboard this flight. If there's anything we do to make your flight any more enjoyable, please don't hesitate to ask. Welcome aboard.
Gasto, and then direct to the runway. Just so a bunch of VOR stations from the looks of it, and then one waypoint, and then the airport. Let's get our departure runway programmed in. We know we're runway 18, and there's no SID, so just insert that. And we will clear this discontinuity. And let's just take a look to see how, oh, well, we can't because it's not aligned yet. We still have 2 minutes before the IRSs are aligned. Oh, my goodness. All right. So that's all done, and we'll do our arrival when we're closer. We'll check the ATIS if it's still available. Alright, so that's flight plan, rad navs. We'll definitely want to get SPY in there. And I think that's fine. I don't think we need to put any of the others. And before I forget to, I'll just activate the VOR now. That's radnavs, fuel prediction, that's useless to us at this point. So, oh, that's basically init B. So refueling is done. Let's get the pumps on. Seatbelt signs come on as well. And now let's do our zero fuel weight, 53.1, and the flight plan agrees, 53.1. So plug that in. And zero fuel weight center of gravity is 24.4. That's our best proxy now because the fuel prediction page, I believe, is broken. So, right, I forgot, 24.4. And we'll just adjust the trim manually to about 24. And that looks like it's up about 0.6, let's call it. Actually, it can tell us on the flight control page. Up 0.5, not too bad. All right, block fuel is 5.4. Get the tailwind data in, tailwind of 5 knots, tail 5. And let's get the rest of our fuel data loaded as well. Alright, so contingency, we do 0.5, we do 0.8 and 0.8. So 0.5, 0.8, and 0.8. That's already in there. And that gives us, well, according to this, negative fuel. Has trip of 3.3. We're predicting 3.1. But we can't actually override that. Alright, well, I don't think we need to take extra fuel, honestly. So I'm just going to say that is fine. It seems the profile in SimBrief is calculating fuel quite literally to exactly no extra time. When usually we like to have maybe up to 15 minutes of extra time. I'm not going to fiddle with it right now. I think that's fine. Okay, so after init B, next up is performance. Okay, let me throw up SimSmart. There it is. And we will start programming in our performance parameters. So we're going to pull in the information from the airport. Runway 18, we're going to pull in the METAR information. That looks just about correct. Oh, and we haven't set our QNH yet. So hold on. 2985, just want to confirm that was correct. 2985, alright, that's all set. Alright, back to the performance calculator here. So runway conditions are dry, anti-ice will be off. Takeoff weight, what are we looking at for our takeoff weights? 58 tons. Takeoff center of gravity is forward. Takeoff thrust is flex, we hope. Air conditioning will be off. Let's calculate. Interesting. Interesting. It claims we can do a flex configuration 1 takeoff. Fascinating. The speeds are pretty low, but it says we can do it, and maybe that's because of our weight. Our takeoff weight is probably about 10 tons lighter than some of our previous takeoffs. So that might be working in our favor. Okay, well, I was hoping to do like maybe a configuration 2 takeoff, but I guess we don't have to. All right, so let's come back to this box here and get the data in. We're going to do flaps 1, and trim is up 0.5. Hey, Pentagon. Hello. Welcome back to the madness. Flex temp, 64 degrees. Transition altitude is always 18,000 in the United States. And V1, decision speed, 126. V rotate, 128. Very slow. And V2, 132. All right. And that is cockpit setup complete. Oh, it's called SimSmart, and it was developed by a duo, EasyJet Sim Pilot. He is a YouTuber who flies the A320 fly-by-wire exclusively, and his father is a software engineer, so they collaborated on this performance calculator using input from real-world A320 pilots. It's available, I think it's about like £6 and change. He's based in the UK, but if you go to simsmart.uk, that's where you can pick this up. It's still early. It was released last week, so still quite a few bugs to work out. So we've been taking it through its paces with mostly good results. I think only once did we have some serious issues getting it to work properly. But yeah, there it is, SimSmart. Cool. All right, so I think we're good. We can shut down that performance calculator. I'll take that off the screen. And I think pre-flight is complete. So let's go ahead and, well, we are going to need a tug. We are going to need a tug. So let's see if we can will one into existence. So this is the toolbar pushback mod. And this is free on flightsim.to. So you can pick this up and you can actually tell where you want to push back to. It may still work. Well, let's request pushback. It might just be like a phantom tug that we don't see because there's no one outside. But while we wait for that to do something, let's do our before start checklist. So cockpit prep is complete, fuel message is sent, gear piston covers. Oh yeah, see nose wheel steering disconnect, so it does think something is connected. Signs are on and auto, so let's get strobes to auto. IRSs are on nav. We actually never confirmed that explicitly. They're all on nav. Right, fuel quantity is 5440 kilograms. Takeoff data is set. Bower ref is set. Yes. All right, so let's get us pushed back. Releasing the parking brake. Oh, nice. Oh, nice. I'm a product manager, so I would hopefully be your best friend. All right. All right. Are we going to push back? Anyway, we'll just go below the line. Windows and doors are closed. Beacon is coming on. Thrust levers are idle. Parking brake is off.
Arm doors and cross-check.
And before start checklist complete. Are we going to move back? I don't want to hold. Oh, there we go. All right, let's get those engines started. So let's get our ignition. Engine mode to ignition. Engine to start. Confirm APU bleed is on and pumps are on. All good. This is the shortest pushback ever, but it was helpful. It was enough. All right, parking brake is on. Nose wheel steering disconnect, waiting for that message to clear. And clear. So the invisible tug is gone. Double check the doors are closed. They are. Got the engine timer going. All right, engine 2 available, engine 1 start. See that turbine start to spool up. Yeah, spin. Spin. Oh, actually, by the way, while we're out here, I learned a trick today thanks to Instagram. I've never been able to tell from a distance the difference between an Airbus and a Boeing. They all freaking look the same. Unless you're like up close, you can actually like read the little details. But if you're ever at a terminal and you're just like watching airplanes taxi around, apparently Airbuses have a flat horizontal line on their rearmost cockpit window. But Boeing's, their rear cockpit window slants upward. So if you see a flat rear cockpit window, I think more often than not that means it's an Airbus. Let me know if that makes sense to y'all or if I'm just talking total bullshit. Hey, MX Aviation, thank you so much for the follow. And you know what? I hope it was that awesome Boeing fact little tidbit that pushed you over the edge. That would make me so happy. You're like, you know what? That guy knows at least something about aviation. I'm going to hit that follow button. I don't know much. I'm not a real pilot. One day. But for now, just practice. All right. Both engines are started. Let's get engine mode back to normal. And let's get ourselves ready for taxi. So let's get our runway turnoff lights on and our taxi lights going. Let's get ATC to auto. And let's get our flaps configured for takeoff. Flaps 1. We're going to arm our spoilers. Favorite GA plane, hands down, SR-22 by Cirrus. I am determined, even though it's going to completely empty my bank account, that is the plane I want to train in. I have kids, that parachute. It's the way to go. And glass cockpits and air conditioning. Like, it is just like a Porsche of the sky. All right, what are we doing? Let's do after start checklists. Anti-ice is not required. ECAM status is checked. Oh yeah, we can get the APU shut down. Pitch trim is set. Pull up here to 0.5 up. Rudder trim is 0. We checked that before, so that's fine. All right, so while we're here, let's do our flight control check. Full left, full right, and neutral. Full forward, full up, and neutral. Disconnect the rudder from the steering wheel, from the nose wheel. Full left, full right, and neutral. And that all looks good to me, friends. All right. Let's do before takeoff to the line. Flight controls are checked. Flight instruments are checked. Briefing is confirmed. Flap settings are set. V speeds and flex temp are indicated and set. ATC is set. And okay, then we go through our ECAM messages. So auto brake, we'll notify the cabin now because we'll be back taxiing. Takeoff config, ECAM memo no blue. We'll get the rest of our before takeoff checklist done as we are rolling. So parking brake is off. Give a little gas. And we are moving. We're on our way out of St. Paul, friends. All right. What time we got? It's just about 1:25 UTC. Gonna use our tiller to steer. I have an extra joystick here that I have mapped to the nose wheel tiller system, which gives us a pretty serious 80-degree turn deflection. Hey, Mo Daddy. Oh God. All right, I need an update on your flight sim installation status. I think last we heard you got X-Plane to work, but what's the latest now? St. Paul traffic, Alaska 9084 is back taxiing runway 18. St. Paul traffic. Oh, you got P3D as well? Oh man, you are hardcore. You're officially a part of the hardcore. You know what? That almost makes up for it. Who needs Microsoft Flight Sim when you got better performance in the actual accurate simulator? Like I'm rocking a 3080 Ti and I'm getting 40 frames on the ground right now. Granted, I have ultra settings on and I refuse to go anything lower. Fight me on that. But that is the reality. All right, weather system and predictive wind shear system is coming on. We'll set ATC to on. We'll get TCAS on at this point, since we're on the runway. We should also get our landing lights on. Let's get lit up like a Christmas tree for any approaching aircraft to clearly see us. And we'll turn off those packs once we get to the other side. And we'll,
please prepare for takeoff.
We'll accelerate a bit just to get a high-speed taxi going since we're on the active runway. Oh, DLSS is coming! Yes! Yeah, Modaddy would love it. And you know what? You could join me in P3D. You just need to connect to VATSIM. So VATSIM works across all simulators. You could use any simulator you want. And I'll still be able to see you. But Panagon, that is the best news I've heard all day. I don't quite know what DLSS is. I just know it makes frames go way up. All right, at this point, let's do before takeoff checklist below the line. Takeoff runway is confirmed. Cabin crew is advised. TCAS is on TARA. Engine modes on normal. Packs will go off once we are lined up. Yeah, I think that's right, Ivan. But Panagon, that is probably the best description of DLSS I've ever heard. Wait, I'm starting to have a brain fart. DLSS stands for Dynamic Something Super Sampling? What's that L stand for? All right, by the way, guys, we're already at the other end of the runway. That is how short this runway is. And if it wasn't flat terrain around the airport, I would have insisted on doing a toga and probably still configuration 1. That would actually really complicate things. When you have mountains, a short runway, you don't want to do configuration 2 or configuration 3 because that's going to kill your ascent rate. So if you need to gain altitude really quickly, you want to have a lower flap setting. Because yes, it reduces your takeoff speed, but the extra drag kills your climb rate. Deep learning super sampling. Wow, yeah, so it's a straight machine learning craziness. I should pay attention to where I'm turning. Apologies, guys. We need literally every inch of runway we can get. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, wasting these precious feet. All right, we are lined up enough. Let's pause here. I don't know if this is actually a good procedure, but I'm going to go to 50% N1 while on the brakes, and hopefully that'll just allow us to get more runway. So, St. Paul traffic, Alaska 9084, taking off runway 18, St. Paul traffic. All right, take off, N1 to 50%. Engines are stable. Man flex SRS. We're ready at the other end of the runway, guys. V1. Rotate. Felt that crosswind a bit. Positive rate, gear up. We got a fly runway heading until 800 feet. All right, there's 800 feet. I'm going to fly that waypoint right in front of us. Get a climb thrust. And follow that flight director now. Speed checked, flaps up. Get those packs back online. Yeah, seriously, that fog did not let up. Believe it or not, it was a mile better visibility than it was coming in. But it's still pretty epic departure. Look at this, guys. Look at this. The chrono going to track our flight time. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. Alright, so after takeoff, checklist, landing gears up, flaps are retracted, packs are on, bow ref is set. Really got to get that screen up because it is bright as F up here. Alright, so spy, it seems ridiculous to go to spy at this point, so I'm going to pretend I'm the departure controller. I'm going to go straight to, there we go, Echo Hotel Mike. And then let's activate that autopilot. Autopilot 1. Friends, we are on our way to Anchorage, 10,000 feet. Let's get those lights turned off. Turn airport mode. And we'll set strobes on. Alright. Just checking, everything looks good. Guys, we are on our way. I left the cockpit door open, which is a safety hazard. Let's lock that shut. Alright, we are on our way. On our way to Anchorage. We'll set standard pressure since we've cleared ourselves to 39,000 feet. And we're still checking the VOR, but we don't need it anymore, so we'll clear that rad nav. And let's take a peek outside. Ooh, that's a cool shot. That's a YouTube thumbnail right there. Very cool. Pretty soon we're going to be flying into sunsets, which will be really nice. The further east we go. Because we're flying in real time with real weather. Nice. Are you flying now, Pentagon? True story, I just booked my first business trip in 2 years. 2.5 years. And I'll be flying Alaska. Love that airline. When I was living in California, I managed to get Alaska status somehow. I don't think I deserved it, honestly. I took like 3 flights in 1 year on Alaska, got status, but for some reason, just being based around San Francisco and flying Alaska out of Oakland, I was like upgraded every single time. It's like no one in Oakland was an Alaska status holder, apparently. Oh, nice. SeaTac. That's where I'm flying to. That's sweet. Do you know what he flies? Do you know what planes? A320. There you go. There you go. I saw my booking today. I'm like, I'm flying in a 737 MAX. I'm like, oh, that hurt. Heart just sank. Not because of like the nose diving issue, but yeah, it takes a while to get to the left seat. Like if you had a friend in the left seat, I would just assume you're like super old. And I'm in my late 30s, so super old is actually is higher than that. I always found that funny about flying. So when you get your private, you learn in the left seat. You do all this work in the left seat, and then when you do your commercial, and then you go work for the airliners, you go back to the right seat, and then you work for years just to get back to that left seat. Feels weird. Yeah, case in point, like you're gonna be in that right seat for a while. I'm assuming your friend is the same or is a similar age. And Pentagon, remind me, are you a pilot yourself? All this yapping. The poor folks in the back have their seatbelts on. Let's turn that off. Oh, ground spoilers are still armed. Yeah. All right. We're cleaning up slowly. Yeah, I'm with you there. If it ain't Boeing, I ain't going. I had to say that out loud to understand what it was you were saying. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't have the liberty of choosing which commercial flights I take. Yeah, that's right. PMDG. They're releasing what, a 737? Not the Max, but they're doing like another variant. Like when I did cross the pond the other week, I enjoyed flying the 787. It's just the mod was incomplete. I do find it strange though, where you really do have to manage your own speed and flaps. It's almost like flying a stick shift. That's how I kind of think about Boeing, especially on the approach, because you were playing with the knobs far more than you are in the Airbus. Ah, okay, nice. Very nice. Yeah, looking forward to that mod. Once I'm done with this round the world journey, I want to do the Salty. I think we talked about that last time. I want to check out the CRJ. I kind of want to tour through all of the study level or near study level aircraft available, because it's just fun. I've not flown the CJ4. I get them confused all the time. Which one? There's this YouTuber I follow, Citation Max. I think we've spoken about him on this channel before. But I forget what he flies. I mean, he flies a Cessna Citation, clearly, but I forget what that abbreviation corresponds to. Yeah, actually, honestly, Pentagon, I'm not sure which one I'm talking about. In my mind, they both look similar, just one is longer. Let me look him up real quick. Let me remind myself what Citation Max actually flies. Oh, he flies a CJ3, so I'm gonna. Okay, so the CJ4 must be the, I guess the up version. So what's the CRJ then? Yes. Okay. So the CRJ is more for like a regional airliner, higher capacity. It's a Bombardier. It's not a Cessna. Got it. Okay. I've cleared it up. No guarantee I'll remember this the next time we see each other, but I get it now. Alright, so our tower controller at Anchorage just hit 11 hours. That is baller. That is baller. Let me show you what I'm talking about. All right. Ted Stevens. And here we go. Actually, let's... Yeah. Anchorage Tower. Online. 11 hours. And there's our arrival. Cool. We can get our ATIS here, which is quite nice. So maybe we'll use Volanta for our ATIS. Information kilo at the moment. And we're coming in runway 7 right. It's the longest runway and it's still, yeah, in landing runway 7 left and 7 right in use. I'm going to pull this off. I don't want to brief our approach too early. But there's a little preview. Yeah, I guess. And you gotta have a lot of patience to do ATC on VATSIM, because you get fools like me who make mistakes all the time. I've never had anyone give me an attitude over voice, but they've definitely given me an attitude in private text chat. I feel like we got to cruise pretty quick. Well, we've only been airborne for what, like, yeah, just under 12 minutes, and we're almost up there. We've got direct crosswind right now. So let's expand our view a bit. Yeah, so when we get to cruise, we'll calculate our top of descent. We'll get a sense for when we are going to do our arrival briefing. And we'll go from there. We were expecting an hour and 40 in the air, and we're 12 minutes in. And that should be pretty accurate, unless, because Tower is not going to give us a star, and we don't have a star in our flight plan, so we're just going to go direct into runway 7 right. So we'll vector ourselves to intercept the ILS, and we'll contact Tower probably 5 miles out, if they're still online. We'll monitor Tower when we're closer, but if they haven't contacted us by 5 mile final, we'll give them a ring. And what are they going to do? They're just going to give us the weather and tell us that we're clear to land. It's actually probably the best introduction to VATSIM, if you've never done it before, is just to fly to an airport with only tower coverage. Because that is like the easiest radio call in the world. Clear to land, Alaska 984. Done. Over. I'm feeling chatty tonight, if you guys haven't noticed. It's probably because I had a giant glass of bourbon before I signed on tonight. Correction, giant glass of rye. It's got me in the mood. And we've got a crew tonight. Nice. Gotta love that local beer. That's probably been one of the more amazing experiences of being alive in our time. Like when I was growing up, you couldn't find local beer everywhere. You could literally go anywhere and there will be local beer that can be had. It's amazing. And it's good. I very rarely have bad local beer. Yeah, I mean, like, why not? But it's like whenever my dad comes over, he turns 70. He's a young 70. He's like in the best shape of his life, but he's still 70. But he's so stuck in his ways that the craft beer movement completely eluded him. Like he still loves his Heinekens, his Amstel, and that's fine. Like it's fine beer. I'm not going to dock that. But whenever he comes over to my house and I just have the craft stuff in the fridge, and he opens the fridge and I can see him browsing, he's looking around, and he could just kind of see the disappointment on his face. He's just like, oh, this local craft shit's going to suck. I'm like, Dad, try it. It's fine. You'll like it. He likes it like 25% of the time. Well, yeah, okay, Pentagon, that's a good point. Like that's the other thing about local craft beer. It's always what, like 12% ABV, something ridiculous. I have to get the session stuff because otherwise I'll be a mess. I'm 6'3", 200 pounds, but I can't really hold my liquor very well. Alright, we got, what, a minute until top of climb. Oh, God. Oh, did you regret inviting them? Were they blacklisted for life? That's nice of you, though, to only stock craft beer at your wedding. That's a classy move. Well, if y'all have beer recommendations, feel free to share it in the chat. I'm sure we'll all benefit. I'm trying to think what I've been jamming on lately on the beer front. Definitely getting stuff from so I live somewhere in New Jersey. I won't say where, but I live somewhere in New Jersey, and there's some great craft breweries all over the state. Cape May IPA comes to mind. I'm not an IPA guy, but that one's pretty good. Green Bench Brewery. All right, I'm looking that up. We're at Cruise. I know we said we're going to do more flying stuff at Cruise, but no, I want to look up beer instead. Hold up. Green Bench.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again from the flight deck, your captain speaking. We've just reached our cruise altitude for the flight. As we begin to settle in, I do want to remind you to please keep your feet and elbows clear from the aisle as the flight attendants will be coming through the cabin with galley.
Oh no! Pentagon!
Also, one more reminder to please refrain from congregating near the front galley where the flight deck door is located. Thank you.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I did not know Nightbot had that turned on. Holy shit. Where'd you go? No, I mean, that's fine. Sorry, I get so embarrassed when the moderator bots just kick in. Like, I know, like, there are some real a-holes out there on chat, but you're definitely not one of those people. You are not one of those people. But I'm Googling it right now, so I'm looking up Green Bench Brewing. And I'll fix Nightbot on the next one. Jeez. Alright. Well, the first thing you see on this website is... Actually, this is beer porn right here. Let me see if I can share this. Will this come through? Oh no, you know what? No, it won't. Oh, that's a shame. Because what I'm seeing... Let me refresh it. Let me see if that works. There we go. Oh, it briefly just showed and then it went away. Okay, well, we tried, but it's basically just like the mash being raked out of this turbine, and there's steam, and there's just... Is that barley? I don't know. It looks awesome. That's making me thirsty. Yeah, if you're by St. Petersburg, you are in a great place to learn how to fly. Florida is probably one of the best places to learn. Nice. Albert Whitted. Oh, that's an airport. I'm actually not familiar with this airport. But I see a lot of GA aircraft. Nice. Alright. I'm going to do some stuff in the sim real quick. First, I want to see what our estimated time of arrival is looking like. 3 past the hour. So we've got about an hour to go. And that loosely tracks with expectations. Alright, so we will brief our arrival at, let's call it 20 past 2. So in about half an hour. Alright, next up, let's brief our approach. Just to get a sense of what our initial descent is going to look like. So coming over to our electronic flight bag. Let's get our pin charts. We can go ahead and clear that. Go Navigraph, 2 charts. We'll get the airport parking coordinate, airport info. Is this all we'll need? That doesn't have stand information. So let's see. Parking gates. I'm going to assume the big terminal is the Alaska terminal because we're flying to frickin' Anchorage. Let's see. Yeah, so South Terminal. So... Cool. So we'll request a gate here. Actually, well, we can just have them tell us where we're going. So I'll pin that. And yeah, I'm assuming that's where they'll take us. Alright, so we're not flying any stars. We will do an approach. We're expecting runway 7 right. According to the latest ATIS, it's probably worth double checking that ATIS real quick. Information Kilo from 53 Zulu, so that was just about an hour ago. Is that right? Yes. So a little outdated, but assuming the winds haven't changed much. Winds are 300. Oh, but they still have runway 7 left and 7 right for landing. Oh, okay. So 7 right it is, because that's the longer one. Cat 2 and Cat 3. That's the one we'll want. And okay, it looks like, looking at the vertical profile, we'll want to be at 2,000 feet by Elias. Alright, so let's go to our calculator. Get current altitude, we want to get to 2,100, I already forgot what the number was. 2,000 feet, even. 2,000 feet even. We'll need 160 nautical miles, we'll do 120. From Elias. So let's go to fixes, get in Elias. And we'll do 120 miles on the radius. And that will be our back of the envelope calculated top of descent. We can't quite see it yet, we're not quite close enough. That's fine, it is in there. Alright, so that is that. We'll brief this later on. Yeah, and look at that difference in weather, man. I forgot I could connect to Hoppy. Oh, that's cool. I haven't checked that out yet. Anyway. Cool. So now we get to chill for about, call it 20 minutes. Let's see. What was I going to check now? Albert Whitted. Let's look this guy up. It sounds like the name of a person. But who was he? Oh god, Wikipedia is so freaking bright when you've been looking at the sim. Yeah, I'm on their website. The airport is named after Lieutenant James Albert Whitted, a St. Petersburg native. He was one of the U.S. Navy's first 250 naval aviators, commissioned at age 24 as the United States entered World War I. Wow. He returned home in 1919 and introduced the people of St. Petersburg to flying. He never charged for the flights. And Albert's aerial maneuvers always left spectators in awe. He also designed and built the Falcon. The Falcon and Bluebird were used in a commercial flying business he had with his brother Clarence. But in 1923, he was killed during a flight near Pensacola aboard the Falcon when the propeller broke off. The local airport was renamed Albert Whitted Airport 5 years later in 1928. That's a great story. That's awesome. It just makes you feel better about the airport. Oh, no way! That's awesome. I used to be really into Indy, probably about 10 years ago. Probably because of my father. He used to race cars when he was young. He got to like amateur stock car racing, but never did anything more than that. But yeah, that'd be awesome. Let me take a look. Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. Oh, that's cool. All right, let me see if I can share this real quick. Hold on. There we go. So yeah, this is a map of the Grand Prix track, and you see there's Albert Whitted Airport. That's the runway. So I can't tell from here, but it kind of looks like they're using the taxiways. Regardless, that is awesome. And that's a cool runway too. I mean, that's got to be fun doing touch and goes over the water. Oh, and I just realized, sorry, I am blocking your view of the moon. Just saw the comment. Yeah, we've been tracking the moon the last 3 flights. We've just been flying just straight at it since we left Russia. Yeah. No, it'd be fun to go down there. I have dreams of going to Orlando and being taught to fly by Ludix Aviation. Are you guys familiar with him? He's another YouTuber. But he's a flight instructor, I think, out of Orlando. Yeah, let me pull it up. But what I like about him, I believe he's Irish, has a thick Irish accent. And he just seems like the most fun guy. Like he takes teaching seriously, but he doesn't take it that seriously. Like he still has fun with it. All right, actually, let me pull it up on this computer. I actually have my chat on a different PC. Well, actually, it's my work laptop. Alright. Oh, nope, wrong one. I promise I know how to work computers. Alright, let's see if my own chat bot will let me post a link. Let's see, here we go. Did I get in trouble? No, I'm good. I'm good. Nice. Yeah, an Irish CFI based out of Orlando, I think. He used to fly for the regionals. But he now instructs in a Piper Cherokee. And some of the funniest videos are when he gets back into a Cessna and he's like, what is this? What am I doing? He has a catchphrase too. He is famous enough on YouTube. He has 55,000 followers, but he's famous enough to have a catchphrase. And it's, as soon as you take off, he says very smugly, "Welcome to the sky." Every time, in an Irish accent. It's great fun. Trying to get some thumbnail shots. Get some lens flare. Oh, where's that lens flare? Ah, give me some lens flare. Lens flare, lens flare, lens flare. There we go. Alright. Ah, there's our top of descent kind of peeking out there. Oh, guys, oh shit, I got some bad news. I got some bad news, friends. Let me check this out real quick just to confirm. Come on. Ah, yep. It looks like our tower controller in Anchorage has signed off. ATC is offline in Anchorage. Bollocks. His watch has ended. His 11-hour stint as a tower controller in Alaska is done. Hey Cass, how you doing? Yes, Pangon, that is actually how it always goes. It's like, oh, I'm gonna fly there, there's controller there, and you get within sight and it's like, oh, gone. Poof. Frequency changed approved, bitches. That should be my catchphrase. But regardless, there's traffic. There's folks flying in Alaska, so maybe we'll get some TCAS action. There's a plane ahead of us. Oh, they haven't filed a flight plan though, so I don't know where they're going. But it looks like they're headed for Anchorage. We just had a Cessna take off from Anchorage. Yeah, so there's some activity. And Cass, judging by the fact that you're saying good afternoon, I'm going to assume you're based in... Oh yeah, no, we've discussed this before. Yeah. So you're somewhere in the West Pacific, I'm assuming? Or no, maybe Hawaii, maybe Central Pacific? Is this creepy? Yeah, the moon looks good. We were just talking about that. We've been flying in the general direction of the moon for the last 3 flights. On the last stream, we started talking about the moon and my weird obsession with space sims. I don't want to open that rabbit hole again. I think poor Ivan got the brunt of that one last night. Nice, Cass. It's 10 o'clock at night. Oh man. Well, we have 2 Floridians in the channel tonight. That's awesome. I was just talking about how Florida is like the GA mecca of the country. It's a great place to fly. And you can do some pretty epic GA day trips, right? Like I've seen folks do hops from like Fort Lauderdale or Miami to the Bahamas in a Cirrus. Oh, the GA mecca. I completely made that up. I'm probably the only person I've ever heard say that, but just my impression is it's a great place to learn how to fly. Lots of space, lots of flat land, good weather. Like where I am in the Northeast, it's just like icing, winds, like a giant class Bravo with like JFK and LaGuardia and Newark, so lots of airspace restrictions, lots of traffic. It's just a mess up here. I should have learned to fly when I was still living in California. That was my opportunity. But guys, our first look at the North American mainland. Oh, what would you change? A PDX. What's the ICAO code for Portland? I'm going to show you guys a trick. Oh yeah, I should have snapped it. I didn't. Hold on. Snapped. Okay. KPDX. Okay. Let's see. Let's see what visibility you had there. So... And that's right. I keep forgetting every U.S. airport kind of precedes with kilo. All right. So... Interesting. Well, judging by the METAR, it doesn't look too bad, but what was your experience of it? Oh, we did not talk about Kerbal Space Program last night, so that is fair game for right now. Kerbal Space Program, man, that is... I did add the METAR command. Thank you. Yes, you were the one that turned me on to it. So it was who you thought it was. It was like bot AI or whatever it was. But yeah, no, KSP, dude, I've done some epic journeys in that sim. I don't even know where to start. I had to stop, and I told myself I'm not going to pick it up again until KSP 2 comes out. But it got rough, dude. Like, I was doing ridiculous shit. I think I did like all of the super hard, like there's this one planet that's close to the sun that it's like it's impossible to land on because the gravity is so intense. I landed on it, man. I landed on it. And I lifted off. I overcame that gravitational pull and I got that Kerbal back home. Yeah, I'm still not convinced that KSP2 is going to come out. Yeah, well, Cass, what we were talking about last night, okay, for your benefit, I'll give you the truncated version of this. But there is a freeware. Yeah, actually, yeah, for a game, it looks ridiculous, Kerbal, but orbital mechanics actually function the way it should in that sim. And you could actually mod it to upscale to the scale of the actual solar system, and if you do that, it takes 20 minutes to get to orbit. Right, like you have to dedicate so much more time. So the fact that they made it 1/6 the scale of our solar system is actually really a benefit, but all the physics are the same. Anyway, there is a freeware space sim called Orbiter, and on this sim, a group of volunteer developers and space enthusiasts have created something called Project Apollo, and they have recreated an authentic full simulation, study level simulation of the Saturn V rocket, to the point where they even, contributors to Project Apollo actually got a hold of a real life Apollo guidance computer with the original memory cards and was able to transfer the data to a modern computer. They built an emulator for it so you could actually run the original code of the Apollo guidance computer in the space sim. And what this has allowed you to do is you could recreate the Apollo 11 flight, any Apollo mission, end to end, accurately. So I showed this last night. I still have it handy, but I picked up the Apollo 11 flight plan. This is the actual flight plan that the crew of Apollo 11 used to get to the moon and back. And it's a textbook. It's huge, but it has an hour-by-hour, play-by-play of everything they did in the capsule to get themselves to the moon and to get themselves home. Every procedure is mapped out. If you follow this real flight plan, step by step, in that sim, you'll get to the moon and back. Like, it's amazing. It's amazing. And there's this other book available called the Apollo Guidance Computer, and this, again, it's a textbook. It tells you everything you need to know about how to operate the Apollo Guidance Computer. So if you follow this in the sim they built, again, it's remarkable. It's an incredible achievement. I don't know why everyone doesn't know about this, but I highly recommend it. Orbiter and Project Apollo. I'll put it in the chat if you guys want to check it out. I think Ivan was suggesting that I start streaming this when I'm done with this flight sim trek that I'm on, and I might just do it. I might just do it. Yeah. No, seriously, it's crazy. But then also think about traveling 250,000 miles in that time. That just blows my mind. Nice. Okay, that's maybe I'll get back into it. The learning curve was aggressive. It's been a couple of years since I've done it, but yeah, that might be fun. And they're still working on it. They update it all the time, so I'm sure they've modeled a lot more into it since then. Nice, Panagon. Do you have one to recommend? There's some great ones out there. I heard great things about the Challenger one, but I haven't seen it. Yeah, Cass. Hey, I don't think it's really. I don't think I've internalized the fact that we're going to Mars in our lifetimes. That's a good question. I think, does Orbiter have? I've only explored because I'm a Saturn. I'm an Apollo era nut, but maybe Orbiter does the shuttle. Let's see. Yeah. It looks, I think Orbiter might come with a space shuttle. I'm not sure how full of a sim it is. Yeah, but since Orbiter is an open source sim, so anyone can build whatever they want on top of it. I haven't seen the right stuff. Is that the Mercury program? Is that the one about the Mercury program? Yeah, it's going to be crazy to see folks walking on the surface of Mars. Nice. God. Some of the bravest people who've ever lived. Hands down. All right, how are we tracking on our destination? Alright, well, we're about a few minutes away from starting our descent prep. Yeah, I've been to Kennedy twice. But not since my early 20s, so it's been a while. So I've seen the Saturn V, but I don't think I yet knew enough about it to really appreciate what I was looking at. Nice. I'm heading to the Air and Space Museum outside of DC. The one that's in DC is closed until the fall, but there's another aviation museum run by the Smithsonian about 20 minutes west of DC, and I'll be heading there with my kids in about 2 weeks. Really looking forward to that. I think they have a space shuttle there, and a ton of planes, old Boeing commercial liners, and lots of GA aircraft. But Kennedy, that's a special spot. I am not aware of the cloud thing. That sounds ridiculous. But I hope that's true, because that will be that'll be awesome. It's like it's not far from Tyson's Corner. Let's see. Oh yeah, the Stephen Udvar Hazy Center in Virginia. They have the Space Shuttle Discovery on display. And a Concorde. Looks like an Air France Concorde. Wow. Yeah, but let me know if you figure out where this like indoor cloud place is, because that sounds insane. Alright, what do you guys think? It's 2 more minutes. And we'll do our descent prep. Let's take a look. The weather, wow! Spring has not sprung in Alaska yet. Alright. Cool. So I think let's do our descent prep. I'm just noticing here our predicted start of descent is actually before our calculated one for the VNAV. And the VNAV has us getting down... Oh, we actually haven't programmed in our approach yet. So that should be step 1. We're planning for runway 7 right... Oh, what is it? Oh, the VAB at Kennedy, right? Is that the one? The giant tower where they actually assembled the Saturn V indoors, which still blows my mind. Oh, Ivan, did VNAV work on the descent? Did it actually maintain a descent profile? Maybe we give it a try again tonight. Alright, well, I'm going to pull up real quick the METAR for Anchorage. It didn't work. Hold on. Oh, there it is. Alright, so as of 153 Zulu, 295 knots. Cass, I don't think I programmed the landing rate predictor. Sorry. I don't think that was available. Maybe it's not too late. Hold on. This is probably a poor use of my time. Hold on. See if I can do this quickly. Yeah, I don't think that's available anymore, unfortunately. Yeah, the only commands I have working are exclamation point route and exclamation point V METAR. Ah, well, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. The landing last night was amazing. 24 feet per minute. 24 feet per minute. It was amazing. The overlay is it's a freeware software download, and it's called Fly Live Studio. Just typing in the chat real quick. Yeah, Fly Live Studio. That's the bar at the top. And there's quite a few. There's a few good kind of like landing indicators, but I tend to like this one. All right, so we were looking at the METAR, winds 295 knots. I mean, doesn't make runway 7 right ideal, but the winds are light enough that I'm not going to care. That's what the latest ATIS indicated, so we'll just stick with that. 10 statute miles, few clouds at 18,000. So very high ceilings, don't need to worry about that. QNH 3043. Actually, sorry, I need to stop saying that. I'm so used to saying QNH. Altimeter 3043. So we'll set that once we start our descent. So let's program the box for our arrival. We'll do ILS 7 right. It's a longer runway. No star, no transition. Go ahead and insert that. And we're going from Gasto to Wewo to Tully. And I think we might actually want to... I think that's not including the initial approach fix. So let's pull up that chart again. ILS 7 right. Let's put in Elias just to make sure we have a nice long lineup. So Elias, and we'll get that right. Which one do I click? This? Yeah, that worked. So, according to the approach plate, we want to be at 2,100 feet by Elias. But this continually updates, it looks like. So we'll see. We'll trust the VNAV. We'll put it down to 2,100 when we're ready to descend. But we'll see how it does. I haven't flown Qatar. I've flown Emirates, and I believe it's a very similar experience. They're both very high-end premium airlines. Alright, so let's take a look at that plate again. Any rad navs? We do have the Anchorage VOR, so let's get that into our rad navs there. Tango Echo Delta 113.5 and 113.15. Yes, that is correct. Fuel prediction. We would make it to our alternate if we needed to, so that's good. And we should have more than that on board when we land. I don't think it's taking into account the fact that we'll be idling down on our descent. And then performance. And we've still got, we're about half an hour away. When was that METAR? It was at 153. So that's recent enough. So we'll go ahead and we'll put in our approach information. So that is altimeter 3043. Temperature 6 degrees. Wind 290 at 5 knots. Transition altitude is 18,000 everywhere. And minimums. Well, Cat 3 has no minimums. So assuming we'll do a Cat 2, we're not going to do an auto land. We'll do 100 feet. on the radio minimums. Okay, that looks good. And we could probably, on a runway this long, we could probably do the configuration 3. Yeah. Let's actually... Let's look here. So it's 3780. Let's do some landing calcs. Where can we pull this data from? Let's do the METAR. Runway altitude, good question. 130. Let's call it 100. Runway heading is 74. Conditions dry. Runway slope, we'll just call it 0. Length in feet, 12,400. We have our approach speed in the box, so let's take a look at what that is. 124. Weights, that's our weight now, so that's just conservative flaps. Let's see if we can do configuration 3. We will have reverse thrust. We're not going to auto land. And calc. Yeah, no, we're good. Let's do configuration 3. Let's have some fun. So we'll switch that over here in the box. And up top, we'll disable the flap alert. And that is that. Yeah, Cathay is also good. I haven't flown Cathay. I've heard great things. But I don't think you can go wrong with Qatar. I'm pretty sure. That what Garmin? I think I'm missing the reference cast. All right, what else do we need to do? We haven't done a proper briefing of the plate, so we can do that now. So, we'll have an 18-mile final. We can activate the approach phase once we're inbound to Elias if we want. We'll want to be down to 1600 by Tully to intercept the glide slope. And then straight down to the runway from there. Missed approach procedure, climb to 600 and then climbing right, turn to 3,000 feet. So we'll put 3,000 feet in the box once we're on the ILS. On a heading of 230 and outbound on TED VOR. So we'll want to get TED in our rad navs, and I think we already did. Yep, that's already in our VOR, so we can pick that up. To JUCAP and hold a JUCAP. Cool beans. We're not going to go miss though, it's fine. How far are we from top of descent? We're getting close. Close-ish. So maybe, actually, let's do the practice. Let's do the practice. So we want to get JUCAP as a fix. We'll keep Elias. We'll put in a JUCAP. And we'll want to put in the inbound radial, so that would be 30 degrees coming out from that point, and that will be, yeah, we see that here, so that will be the track we want to intercept to get to that hold point if we need to go missed. Cool. Yeah, so turn to heading 230 until we intercept the inbound track of 210. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. Anything else we need to know? Runway heading, elevation, transition level, PAPI lights. Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good. A circle to land. Ah. Yeah, well, I'll need to learn how to do that. Oh, yeah, nice. Oh, wait, what happened to this weather? That looks like it's getting worse. So let me think through circle to land. It's been a while since I've thought about circle to land. Is that when you're tracking a localizer or an ILS for one runway, but then at some point you effectively do, I guess, like, I'm not sure if it's a DME arc, but then you basically do a cutover to the approach of another runway? Is that the basic gist of a... Or am I confusing that with something else? Or circle to land where you do a midfield flyover and then join the approach? Exactly. Which one? Is it the midfield one? That's hilarious. I gave two options and then you were telling me, oh, the first one, got it. Okay, yeah. So when you're doing an approach for one runway and then you divert to the next. So I think Teterboro Airport in New Jersey is famous for their circle to land approach. I've seen videos on this. So maybe we'll do that one at some point. All right, so I'm trying to remember here. When we pass top of descent, will it automatically start descending if I have our target altitude in the box? Or do I have to take an action? Let's see, so we're about 80 miles. So just to review, this blue line is our calculated top of descent. And it's about 20 miles earlier than what the VNAV is indicating we need to do. The VNAV also has us heading to our initial approach fix at 4620 when the chart wants us at 2100. And we want to be at 1600. So what I'm assuming is happening, let's actually take another look at the available ILS charts. It might be pulling altitudes from maybe another... No, that's also 1600. That's also 1600. No, it's all the same. Interesting. Okay. But if I pushed the... If I go into manage descent now, will I descend now or will it wait for top of descent? I'm sorry to be asking you complicated questions on chat, but... Probably furiously typing away and helping me out, but I appreciate the help. Alright, so actually just want to check here. Top of descent coming up in 9 minutes. when you reach the calculated top of descent. Nice. And that makes sense because there, if you look at the VNav, it has me at 390 until top of descent, and then we start dropping. So, all right, let's test this. Let's test this. I'm going to put in 1600 in the box, which is where we want to be when we intercept the glide slope. All right, and then manage descent, Mach, descend. I'm dropping. I'm losing altitude. Why? Shit. Let's halt descent. Go to 38.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you may have noticed, we have begun our initial descent down to our destination. Now would be a good time to wrap up any business you need to take care of as we prepare for approach. If you are up, once you return to your seat, we ask that you
Why did it do that?
Arrive safely at the gate. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for a ride.
We're inbound Gasto. Oh. It was going to take us to Gasto. Interesting. Alright, well, we'll try that again when we get to the calculated top of the sun. We just lost 1,000 feet. That's not terrible. But just to prep, I'm going to get 1600 back in, but I won't hit manage descent until we're ready. Nice! I'm glad you enjoyed it, Pentagon. Are you on VATSIM at the moment, by the way, or are you playing offline? Oh, we're on Volanta. Nice. Are you, and not that I'm stalking or anything, I'm good with context clues. Are you Alaska 1264 Bravo? Nice. Heading to SFO, that's a good flight. Love Volanta. Awesome stuff. Yes, we got constraints on. I see them in the McDo. Should be translating on here. Maybe I'm just zoomed out too much. But yes. Hey, Kostyker, how's it going? Thanks for joining us. We're minutes away from initiating our descent. Again. Oh, and thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Oh, no shit. You came just in time. So we were actually discussing. That's awesome, by the way. It's a pleasure to meet you. Mad respect. So we have the calculated top of descent here on the ND, and in the actual aircraft. So right now I put in our altitude for our where we intend to intercept the glide slope, and if we hit manage descent now, we'll start descending. But in the actual aircraft, if you put it in manage descent, would it wait until the calculated top of descent marker, or would it actually just start descending to the next constraint? Hopefully I described that question well enough. Yeah, so the fly-by-wire has, so it has our top of descent at flight level 390, which was our cruise. It's called the top hat. Nice. So I'm thinking if I hit manage descent now, it would take us to 10,290. It would take us to the gas stow constraint. Yep, we're on the flight plan page now. So I'm just going to watch. I don't want to miss the top of descent marker. I think we're still good. Now the arrival. Yep. So we have our run. We have our ILS programmed in. We're doing the ILS 7 right. We're not descending via star. We're just going direct to the approach. Progress. This might not be fully modeled yet, but yeah. What's at RadNav? We have the Tango Echo Delta VOR, and then the ILS is programmed in. Oh, you mean perf? I was watching the top of descent. That's coming up. Okay. Oh, sorry, Prague. Yep, gotcha. So that would be, what are we doing? Oh, sorry. Papa, Alpha, November, Charlie, and 7 right. Will that accept? No. Did I do that wrong? 07 right, perhaps? Not in database. I think it's a little finicky. It might want me to do 07 right. There we go. Got it. Now go to perf. Yeah, we've got our approach data in from the latest METAR report. And radio minimums to 100. I'm always curious about this. Like when radio minimums are available, I always just default to it. But would you ever use Barrow if there were a radio minimum option? Oh, and we're also doing config 3, by the way, because we thought nice long runway, and why not? You need to use Barrow always. Oh, interesting. Why is that? Why is that? So 232. Oh, and here's top of descent. So let's go manage descent. And we don't know if the VNAV... Alright, here's your ND. The VNAV is new in this mod, so it's still a bit finicky. We're giving it a test right now, and already it looks like we are we need to catch up to our descent path. But I'm not flying heading. At least I shouldn't be. Flying managed. What makes you think we're flying heading? Okay. Yeah, I would imagine maybe you don't see the digits. Yeah, it should be the dashes, right? I think that's just a simism. Yeah, okay. Cool. Whew. Thrust idle. So we're chasing that green dot. Oh, the vertical deviation. Yeah, yeah, got it. Okay, I'm following. All right. Plan in the rows. Sorry. Yeah, the decel point. Yep. That's when we automatically go into the approach phase, I think, right? Yep, got it. All right, back to the McDo. Let's do it. I'm game. What are we checking? Next phase. So I don't think go-arounds are completely integrated yet. So I've tried to go around where I activate toga. It's not done, but I guess it looks good here. Fuel prediction. Secondary flight plan is in op in the mod. And there's something weird with the fuel prediction page in the latest update. So I think these two pages are broken right now. And secondary flight plan just doesn't work. Top hat. Ah, awesome. Thank you. Well, that was fun. It has a shape like a hat. Oh. In terms of like how the flow. Yeah. It's getting a little bumpy, so get those seatbelts on for the duration. Oh, you got shaped like a hat on the... Okay, got it. Got it. I mean, please. I feel honored to have you in the chat tonight. Honestly, you're the first A320 pilot I've interacted with in my life. And I judging by the fact that the rest of the folks are sticking around, I'm sure they're following your every word as well. Oh, good. Oh, okay. I'm glad you're getting value out of it. Nice. Congratulations. Would I activate the landing system now? That's the constraints. Oh yeah, I have it off on the co-pilot side for performance reasons. The more things I have activated on that side, the slower the sim runs. So I know it's probably not realistic to have the co-pilot side completely turned off, but that's why it's like that. So I'm managing here on the pilot side. There are probably few things more dangerous than operating an A320 by yourself. The approach chart. All right, let's do that. Particular part you'd like me to zoom in on? Vertical profile. Got it. So we have 1600 in the on the glare shield. Yep. I think we're going from Gasto direct to Elias. Sweet. It does activate the approach phase when we cross the decel point. It does, which is awesome. We need to manually activate approach on the autopilot, which I assume is how you do it on the real plane as well. One thing I do want to point out, though, we have our squiggly line back. So that's telling me we're probably not descending fast enough. And I think, again, this is just an issue with the way the VNav is working in the simulator, because it's the newest feature, and it's probably the hardest one to model. Yeah, I'm in thrust idle, so like, what more can I do? But we probably... Oh, sorry, let me... we have... we're below transition. Let me get the local QNH in. Give me 1 second. Oh, sorry, local altimeter 3043. All right, I could use speed brakes? Okay. Arc. Let's zoom in a bit. All right, speed brakes are fully deployed. 20 range. Oh, ignore the stream bot. Let's keep going. Alright, so it's holding at 270 knots, which I think is the lowest the VNav will allow it to go. We will automatically decel to 250 at 10,000 feet. And I think this 2.4 on the PFD is indicating that we're 2,400 feet above where it wants us to be. Is that right? We are slowly catching up to it. All right, we're now inbound Ellis. 19 miles. And we're slowing down, I guess, for 10,000 feet, so we're nose coming up a bit. Okay, yeah, I think we'll catch up. I'm guessing in the real plane, VNav works better than this. At least I would hope so. Hand to the spoilers, got it. We also need to, at this point, 10,000 feet, so landing lights. All lights. All lights. Even even the nose wheel lights. Ah, Xmas tree. I understand that. I understand that. Okay. All lights. And picking up the ILS signal now. Decelerated approach. Got it. So when can I retract the speed brakes? I'm assuming at this point we don't need it because we have speed, so should I retract them? Alright, speed brakes retracted. Great. I got 22 miles. 10-mile range selected. Circle D is past WeWo. So it's about 9 miles from the runway, which seems pretty close. We're 18 miles on the ILS. So I'd imagine we probably would want to activate the approach earlier than that. Okay. So should I, alright, let's activate the approach phase. Approach activated. And we're going to start slowing down to green dot. And should I activate the approach on the autopilot? Okay. Approach activated. We have Lokestar and glide slope is armed. And autopilot 2, I believe, is that right?
$2,500.
Radio altimeter is alive. We should be slowing down though. Speed check flaps 1. We're over speed though. So that was not a good speed check on my part. I'm going to expect when we level out at 1600 it'll allow us to slow down, because I think the sim wants us to get to altitude over the speed. Yeah, there we go. Now we're slowing down. Oh, no worries. It's probably hard for you to see. Alright, we're going to set low braking. It's slowing. Alright, speed check flaps 1. We're going to have to do this pretty quick. We've got 8 miles. Ah, got it. Yeah. Glide slope is coming in. Speed check flaps 2. Glide slope star. At flaps 2 we can do gear, is that right? Gear down. Spoilers armed. Speed check flaps 3.
1,000.
And landing checklist. Ping the cabin. ECAM landing, no blue. Excellent. Clear to land. When do you disengage the autopilot? Do you usually do it at 500?
500.
Not really.
400. 300. 100 above. 200.
Well, I don't know if that was just instinct, but autopilot off.
50,
There's a delay in the chat.
30, 20, retard.
Ballooned a little bit. Reverse green, decel. That was probably not a good landing. But it was fun. 70 knots. Yeah, I just got your message about Rev Green spoilers decel. So, unfortunately, the chat is not real time. Thank you. I appreciate it. Turning off. Yeah, 318 vertical speed. Is that good? Like what vertical speed is bad? At what point do you need to call maintenance? Oh God, yeah, Ivan. Oh no! Oh my God, the bot struck again. Kostyker, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, after landing, I don't know what that was. After landing checklist, I guess we should get the flaps up, spoilers disarmed, landing lights off. More than 600 feet. Okay. That's good to know. That makes me feel a lot better about my landings. I'm not going to lie. TCAS is standby. Weather, predicted wind shear can come off. I'm assuming this is all... Oh, strobe, yep. Strobe to auto or strobe to off? Well, you said off, so I'm going to assume off. Come on, off, go off, go off, go off. There we go. And then nose to taxi.
Anchorage traffic, AirCam 452 is descending. The planning to land via we are now for runway 33, Anchorage.
Okay, he'll be clear of us. The VNAV did not do great. We had to use speed brakes to help it catch up. But I had this pro A320 pilot helping me out here, so appreciate it. Oh, but you said the VNAV did well. Well, that's good. Nice. Okay. I have APU can come on. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a radar's off, which is off windage. Okay. So let's figure out where we're going. Fair enough. It's just auto enough. All right, so let's take Gulf. We can take Gulf all the way to the south terminal. We'll just pick a stand. Anchorage traffic, Alaska 9084, crossing runway 7 left. Anchorage traffic. Got it. Pilots control the vertical navigation always. Anchorage traffic, Alaska 984 clear of runway 7 left. Anchorage traffic. Well, this has been a real honor, guys, having a real Airbus pilot with us guiding me all the way down. That was an awesome lesson. I learned a few things that I did not know about, which is why I started streaming in the first place. This is kind of the exact situation I want to find myself in, where I'm engaging with a community of aviation and flight sim enthusiasts, and we help each other out. It's awesome. I'm gonna pick one of these stands down here. And I guess we would also clean up flight director landing system constraints. That could all come off at this point. And not really? That doesn't come off yet? Alright, it's coming back on. I'll wait for you to direct me. If you're still willing to walk me through parking and securing the aircraft procedures, I'm more than welcome. These gates look very wonky. Why do they all look like they're going to connect from the right? Alright, well I'm just going to follow this one in. Oop, overshot that. Oh yeah, that was me over-rotating the tiller. Preliminary copper prep and securing the air with, oh, I see. So I just kind of, I just go through it. Alright, so APU ECAM, specify APU is available, parking brake engaged, engine shut down, and seatbelt signs off. That's a good question, Ivan. Where are we headed next? From Anchorage, we are heading to Ketchikan International Airport. It's about another 2-hour flight along the southeast edge of Alaska, I believe. And then from there, we're going to SeaTac. All right, so now I'm challenging my memory here. 8C to standby. I'd love to, man. I would love to. But you're the pilot. Fly up to New Jersey. Oh, beacon come off. The engines are off. I guess we could shut the lights off now. Oh, that is off. Okay.
Yep, doors are disarmed. The doors verified?
To Miami. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. All right, let's get the overhead. Let's shut down the IRSs. Fuel pumps can come off. Oh, we could turn that light down too. So, okay, you know what? Actually, I'm glad Ivan's here, and Kostiker, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I'm glad you're here as well. I do this ridiculous thing when I'm on the sim, where before I shut everything down, before I go back to cold and dark, I literally turn down every backlight, every screen, because in my mind I'm like, if I'm the airline, I want to save the useful life of every single pixel on every device in the cockpit. If you were going to cold and dark, would you do the same thing? Like, would you turn the PFD all the way down to off? Would you turn the ND all the way down to off? Or would you just like kill the batteries? You would. Ah, yes, validated. Hopefully you're talking to me though, unless you're talking to Ivan. Everything off. Everything off. I am not insane. I'm not crazy. Thank you. But not with the batteries. Yeah, yeah. You turn the knobs. Turn the knobs. The switches are there for a reason. They're there to be used. I don't know if... Actually, I'm not sure if that brightness goes all the way. Or this, even the McDo goes all the way. But I guess there are some things you can't completely shut down. Oh yeah, good point. So external power is available. And we could shut down the APU. Oh, actually, we should have actually... I'm assuming folks are off the plane, but just for completion's sake, let's get that jetway called. All right, and at this point, I guess we turn nav and logo lights off. So at this point, do you do external power off first and then the batteries, or the batteries then external power? Batteries. Okay. All right, and then let's hit it. Unless there's anything, is there anything else I need to be doing before I hit the external power button to go back to cold and dark? Is there anything on the overhead that looks weird? Sign the logbook.
Anchorage traffic. Aircam 452 is on port final for runway 33.
Nice.
Anchorage.
Nice. Well, yeah, engine time, 1 hour and 57 minutes. So I'm writing that down in my brain. Wait a minute, I thought I heard another aircraft. Oh wait, you know what this? I think we're hearing vacuum cleaners. Did fly-by-wire include the sound pack for cleaning the plane? Right? That sounds like... What is that noise? Oh, sorry. Overhead panel. Here we go. Yeah. And thanks for the compliment, Ivan. And I saw your note about flying tomorrow. It's probably 50-50 for me, to be honest. And then my kids will be on spring break, so I'll be off all of next week. So this might be the last time I'll be online for 2 weeks, unfortunately. But if things work out tomorrow, I'll make sure to do an extended pre-stream. Thanks, Pentagon. Appreciate it. APU is off. Emergency exit light. Oh, yes, the lights. Thank you. Emergency exit lights and no smoking signs are off. APU bleeds off. Yep. Do we turn the packs off? Okay. Packs just like that. Okay, very cool. Alright, external power. And that's it. Cold and dark, friends. Cold and dark. EFB, yes. All off. I'm going to take my coffee too. Can't leave trash in the cockpit. Didn't know you guys know you could do that? Oh. Yep. Love it. Guys, that was such an honor. That was such an honor. Kosteko, thank you so much for joining us tonight. That's awesome. If you guys enjoyed it, for those that are sticking around, please hit that follow button. I'm damn close to affiliate, which would be fun to get to. But no, I think that made my week. And just makes me want to get my PODS license all the more. But yeah, glad you got some practice in as well. We have a good crew going, so I've been raiding channels lately and having a lot of fun with it. So I'm just going to quickly see if there are any other streamers that I admire online right now. If there are... actually, no. You know what? I don't see... Nope. Actually, it looks pretty quiet there. So we may just call it a night here, unless you guys have a suggestion for a channel to raid. Yeah, I would love it. Oh, thanks, Red Devil. Appreciate the follow. I mean, it kind of feels silly for you to be my first officer, considering you're the actual professional pilot here. Probably in all planes. Ah, got it. Got it. That's interesting. That's interesting. That the FO does more things. Because we were talking about this before. All the flows. Got it. Yeah. We were talking about this before, how when you start your private, you sit in the left seat. And then when you get to the airliners, you go back to the right seat. And then you spend all your time working to get back to the left seat. All the flows and normal procedures. Got it. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, because you've done all your training on the left side and now you were suddenly sitting on the right side, but not just the right side of a GA plane, the right side of a giant airliner. Got it. Got it. Okay. It's super interesting. Ah, that would be amazing. Although, unfortunately, as a matter of streaming policy, I don't give out my personal email. I should actually set one up for the stream. I just haven't done it yet. Let me go ahead and do that. Let me set up a separate email alias that I could use for the channel. That might be helpful. But I appreciate the offer. That's really kind of you. I swear I hear a plane. Discord server. Oh my god, am I at Discord server stage yet? Oh look, guys. We have a friend. Air Canada flight coming in. Let's see if that's accurate. See if my model matching is working. Yep, that is correct. An Air Canada. Also looks like an Airbus. Yeah, that's another Neo. Okay, maybe it's time. Maybe 40 followers is the point where I make a Discord. Cool. I'll see if I can get that set up by the next time we fly, but I appreciate the offer again. I think, honestly, at this point, guys, Oh, Ivan, you haven't? Well... are you using AIG Manager by any chance? Have we had this discussion? I have a model matching file on flightsim.to under my handle Mike November Whiskey that if you're using AIG Manager for your liveries, that file will cover all of them. That's what I'm using here. Oh, the Air Canada guy just disconnected from VATSIM. Just like, oh, poof, I'm done. All right, guys. So it's 11:30 Eastern Time. I think it's time for me to call it a night. As much as I hate to, I'm having a ton of fun. But yeah, just want to thank you guys for all the engagement tonight. This was, again, such an awesome experience. And Co-Psycher, such an honor to have you join us. And hopefully you can join us again. Yeah, when I get that Discord server, I will post that all over my channel. So we'll make sure to reconnect. All right, folks. Well, have a good night. Safe travels wherever you're going. This is Mike November Whiskey signing off. Cheers.